Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If today is your first time visiting this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so that each time we upload a new video you will be notified. So in today's video, we'll be learning how to draft a basic bodice pattern. If this is what you are interested in, continue watching this video and make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Now let's get started. So we'll be needing a carbon paper. This is what I'm using instead of pattern paper. So I don't have access to pattern paper for now. I'll be using this carbon paper. I have two. That's what we call it here, carbon paper. That's what I'll be using. So if you have your pattern paper, you could make use of it. So you need our scissors. We'll need this ruler, the French curve. We'll also be needing a pen or marker. I'll be using this marker most often because I just want the line to be bold enough that you can all see what I'm drafting. And we also need a ruler. So if you have a plastic ruler or any kind of ruler, you can use it. And also your tape rule. Okay. So as you can see, and also the measurement that we'll be using, we have our shoulder, which is 14 inches, bust 36 inches, under bust 13 inches, waist 30 inches, hips 36 inches. So this is the measurement we'll be using. Everything is in inches. So this edge, as you can see, it is straight. So if yours is not straight, if the pattern paper is not straight, you have to straighten it, and you make sure that it is very straight so that everything you'll be doing will work perfectly well. So from the top here, I'll be coming down by half an inch, 1 inch, sorry. I'll be marking 1 inch here from the top to indicate our shoulder line. So we'll be having so many lines, but what the first line will be ruling is our shoulder line. So from the top, as you could see, I measured 1 inch and I'm ruling a straight line here. So this line is actually our shoulder line. That's the first line we are ruling. So these are the measurements. Like I said, I forgot to indicate the length of the shirt. So the length we'll be using, length 23 inches. So I forgot to indicate it in the first place. So from the shoulder line, you will measure down to where you want the length to be. That's 23 inches. You can see me marking it again. I'm marking it in two places just to make sure that the line is straight. Okay, so this is our hemline. That's where we want the length of the shirt to be. I hope you're already getting it. So if there's anything you don't understand, kindly ask questions. So this is our shoulder line, which is 14 inches. And if you divide 14 by 2, you have 7 inches. As you can see, 14 inches divided by 2, we have 7 inches. So I'm going to now quickly mark that 7 inches. So after marking that, I will now quickly mark out the shoulder line. So from the shoulder line, I'm going marking 3 inches by 3 inches. Remember, it could be more than this, it could be less, depending on the type of neckline, but this is a basic neckline. So I measured 3 inches by 3 inches. So after marking out these 2 points, I will now use my French curve to connect them like this. Remember, always, if you don't have a French curve, you could use your free hand to sketch it. You mustn't wait until you have a French curve, okay? But since you have it, there's no point stressing yourself. So I just mark out my shoulder line already. So from the shoulder line, we'll come down by 1 inch, okay, to get our shoulder slant. So you slant it from the end of the shoulder line here down to where we marked that 1 inch. That's the shoulder slant. So from the shoulder slant, you measure down. Okay, so basically we are trying to get our chest line. So to get the chest line now, we'll be doing a little calculation. We'll divide our bust by 6. We'll divide 36 by 6, okay, to get our chest line. So 36 divided by 6. So when you divide 36 by 6, you get 6. You add plus 1.5 inches. Your bust divided by 6, you get 6. You add plus 1.5 inches to get your chest line. So when we do that, what we now have is 7.5 inches. Make sure it is from the shoulder slant. So this 7.5 inches, if we will now make sure we mark it so that everything will now be straight. Okay. So remember, from our shoulder slant, we marked 7.5. So, but if you're measuring directly from the shoulder line, okay, if you from the shoulder line, it is all in all is 8.5. But from the shoulder slant is 7.5. So we are marking 8.5 to make sure that the line is straight. As if you're marking it from the shoulder line. But if it is from the shoulder slant, is 7.5. Okay. So we'll mark it like so. We'll rule the line. So let me quickly indicate it. This is our chest line. So from the shoulder line, you now come down to mark your what? Bust line. Okay, just take a look at how I'm placing it. This is our shoulder line. Let me indicate it as well. So from the shoulder line, you come down by 10 inches. Okay, so you mark it. This is our bust line. Always indicate the lines. Okay, that will help you not to be confused. So I'm still marking 10 inches here for the bust line. I'll now rule it like so. So you mark again from the shoulder line, you come down to your under bust, which is 13 inches. Our under bust, remember, it is 13 inches. So you mark it at this other end as well. You now rule the line. So basically, if you can get most of these lines, if you can get these lines correctly, drafting your pattern will be very easy for you. From the shoulder line again, we mark our waist line, which is 16 inches. From the shoulder line, you measure down to 16 inches, then you mark it. Please, if there's anything you're not understanding, you can pause the video and watch it again, or you kindly ask your question on the comment section, or you chat me up on WhatsApp. So let me extend these lines to the end. So this is our bust line. This is our under bust line. So under BL, that is under bust line. Then we have our waist line. Finally, we have our hem line. So now on the chest line, okay, take note, on the chest line, you now divide your bust. That is on the chest. You divide bust by 4. When you divide 36 by 4, we now have 9 inches. So you can see I'm marking the 9 inches exactly. Our bust divided by 4 is 9 inches. Then from the shoulder slant, okay, take note, from the shoulder slant down to chest line, earlier we said it's 7.5 inches. So when you now divide it by 2, you mark center. That's around 3.75 or thereabout. So you mark the center, and then from the, make sure you rule a straight line to, from the shoulder slant, rule a straight line to touch the chest line like this. So this is the center where we marked. Okay, we divided this line into 2 and we marked the center, and see the mark already. Okay, I'm doing it again so that you get exactly what we did. So from this point, you now come in by half an inch. That is on center. So you have 3 points here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll now be connecting these 3 points using our French curve. Again, if you don't have this curve, please use your free hand. Okay, so you make sure you place it accurately and mark it like this. So from here now, we go to our bust line and we'll divide our nipple to nipple, which is 8 inches. Nipple to nipple is 8 inches. You divide it by 2, you have 4 inches. Okay, that is bust span. It's 8 inches by 2, you have 4. So you mark this 4 inches on the bust line, on the under, on the waistline, and also on the hem line like this. Okay, you really down straight. So on the waistline, we now mark out our dart. Remember the dart is always from the on waistline. So from this place, you mark, come out half an inch, half inch as well. It could be more than this, but basically I use half an inch always. So that's on the waistline. Then from the hemline, you come up by 2 inches. It could be 2 or 3 inches, but here I'm coming up by 2 inches. So you now connect points to the half inch you marked earlier this side. You now move up to the bust line like this. Okay, so you mark it like this. You now connect this pointer to the bust line. So if we input other measurements, remember our balls are 6. We now, as you could see, we already indicated it. So for our waist is 30 inches. So 30 inches, if we divide it by 4, yes, 30 inches, if you divide it by 4, we now have 7.5 inches. So you mark 7.5 like this. But remember, on the dart, okay, we marked out inch on both sides. That is 1 inch in total. So we have to make provision for that 1 inch. Okay, we include the 1 inch on this other side like this. Okay, so on the hemline is 36 divided by 4 as well. We have 9 inches. Mark it like this. So you now connect this line from the hemline down to our waistline like this. Then you connect this one up to the mark we had at the on the chest line. So you can see basically this is what we have. So we will now be adding our sewing allowance. Okay, so we'll choose to leave the sewing allowance until you're cutting on your um, fabric, but I prefer adding it in the first place like this. So I'm adding 1.5 inches. You could add 2 inches, 1 inch, depending on how you want it, but here I'm adding 1.5 inch for the sewing allowance. Like this. So at this point we are done. This is the front pattern. We are done with the front pattern, so let me quickly indicate it. You see, this is the front pattern. As you can see, it's easy peasy, right? So this is the front pattern. I'll indicate it, and remember this edge is on fold. Okay, it's on fold. For the front pattern, it's on fold. Let me indicate it as well. So if you're cutting on your fabric, you make sure this place is on fold. So all we need to do is now to cut out like this. So we'll get another pattern paper. So it's very easy. We'll be using the front pattern to get to cut out our back pattern. Okay, so we'll get another um, pattern paper. In this case, we are using carbon paper. Okay, so from this edge now, you mark out 2 inches. This in 2 inches is for zipper allowance, because we'll be adding zipper at the back. Okay, it's for zipper allowance. If you have a dress that has no zipper, you don't need it, but in this case we'll be adding our zipper, so we'll be marking out 2 inches for the zipper allowance like this. So you mark it like so. So this is the zipper allowance. So place it on this line like this, the front pattern on this line like this. So please remember, there are so many ways of doing this, but this is one of the methods. Okay, if you have another method, it's as well, you can use it. So remember this, now trace it and cut it out like this. So for the, you see how I'm cutting it like this. So for the neckline, the back neckline, I will now be tracing it like this. So you see, there are times where the front and back neckline will be of the same depth and width. So in that case, you just trace it out like this and cut. In this case, I want the back neckline to go a little bit deeper. So I'll just come down on 1 inch. So I'm using my free hand, sketch it like this, okay, because I want it to be a bit deeper in the front neckline. So I'm coming down by 1 inch. Okay, take note that I'm using my free hand to sketch this. You could just cut it exactly like the front neckline. That will be fine as well. So you can see. So we are done. You can see very easy, very simple. So what I would like to tell you all is this is a back pattern. So please, I actually encourage you to always practice. Whatever you watch here, let's practice. Yes, all practice. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. If you find this video helpful, please make sure you subscribe and invite friends to subscribe to this channel. Okay, help us to grow. If you have any question, like I said earlier, don't hesitate to ask on the comment section or you message me. Thank you.